Hello and welcome back to Lord Gizmo. In today's video, we'll be looking at the process of planting, harvesting, and turning sugarcane into sugar. The sugarcane production starts with the production of seedlings. In this step, it's crucial that they choose the right variety so that they waste no resources trying to cultivate it. Through the help of newer technologies, farms are now able to produce sugarcane seedlings that are resistant to the main diseases, stable, and can fully adapt to its environment. They do this by obtaining national varieties and evaluating each of them thoroughly. This large laboratory and working site is where all the magic happens. The process does not immediately proceed to planting. Of course, the soil needs to be prepared first. Usually, sugarcane stays in the field for 2 to 3 years. Given that time frame, it's important that the soil is prepared every once in a while. To ensure high-quality products, the soil should be 50% soil particles, 45% mineral matter plus 5% organic matter, 25% air, and 25% water. Plus, 45 centimeters depth of the soil should be prepared well since 75% of the sugarcane root system is present at this soil layer. One of the processes involved in this step is tilling. In sugarcane production, tractors are frequently utilized for tillage operations, with moldboard or disc plows for initial plowing. Prior to additional tillage, the soil should weather for a week after plowing. Disc harrows, tine harrows, or rotavators are used in secondary tillage to cut, shred, and incorporate crop leftovers into the soil. Each field receives a different amount of tillage operations to ensure a good seedbed free of clods, weeds, and crop residues. Cutting the stem, preparing the ground, planting the cuttings in furrows, and covering them with soil are the steps involved in planting sugarcane. Planting methods include trench, flat, and furrow planting. Furrow planting is typical in moderate rainfall but has poor drainage, whereas flat planting is customary and needs appropriate moisture. Trench planting, however, has been shown to be efficient and effective. Sugarcane grows best in soil with a pH of 6 to 6.5, 32 degrees Celsius, sunlight, and ideal field conditions. Organic matter is also necessary for sugar production. So, in regions with cool winters, late summer and early fall are the optimum times. The planting season would not be complete without maintaining the sugarcane. Most farms do this through the help of spraying machines. One of the machines used is the Uniport 2030 sugarcane with a 2,000-liter tank capable of spraying up to 190 liters per minute. It can also reach heights up to 1.9 meters to make sure that each of the sugarcanes are covered. When planting canes, dried leaves can accumulate at its base. This is highly flammable, so it needs to be dealt with to avoid accidents. One of the ways farmers do this is through burning them intentionally. Farmers deliberately burn leaf waste to avoid having to transport it further and faster to processing facilities. Profits could also be impacted by other green harvesting techniques, such as field waste cleanup, which demand more resources. Although sugarcane burning is discontinued by many farms, some still do it given that they can provide the necessary skill and care needed. Whether the sun rises or not, when the sugarcane is mature enough, the harvesting needs to take place. This process is done with a combination of manual and mechanical methods. For muddy sugarcane fields, they opt for harvesters mounted on tracks because those on wheels have a higher risk of getting stuck in the muck. The purpose of these harvesters is to move through the sugarcane rows and cut it a few inches above the ground. Through the help of mechanical harvesters, it's now easier to harvest them. Just take a look at how this machine's rotating arms can simply strip off leaves and undergrowth on the canes. Once left with only the stalks, the machine proceeds to move them through the cutter so it can be chopped into smaller pieces. To prepare them for the next step, the trimmed canes will now be placed into large piles. This is where they get tied up and wait for the transportation process to begin. As a perennial grass, Sugarcane doesn't require yearly replanting, and new shoots grow from chopped stalks for next harvests. This allows the farmers to harvest for 3 to 5 years. Once all are harvested and tied into batches, the cane will be transported to a nearby raw sugar mill. A vehicle with high capacity, like this one, is needed to transfer tons of sugar canes in just one go. This particular locomotive is used by Wilmar Sugar, Australia, and has a capacity of 26 tons, ensuring that a lot of sugarcane can be moved quickly. During the next month of June, a lot of sugar processing facilities start to crush their canes, and they are expected to do this until November. But if you think that crushing is the only process in producing sugar, you are wrong. It entails other specific procedures as well. It all starts with weighing the transported canes. They'll be checked for quality, and their weight will be assessed. After that, the canes are fed into a shredder to turn it into raw sugar crystals. Since it's a plant, the shredding process will also cause it to produce some juice the more it goes through shredders. This is alongside the fibrous material called the bagasse too. The facility just needs the juice, so the bagasse is meant to be disposed of. Even when it is considered a waste, it's still useful, so the facility reuses it as fuel for the boiler. Now going back to the juice, the next step will be about cleaning it. The juice needs to be pumped into a clarifier to get rid of its impurities. Since its impurities still contain a lot of nutrients, most facilities heat them and recycle them into sugarcane fertilizers. The cleared juice will now be processed into a vacuum pan where it will be boiled for some time. This process will allow the juice to turn into a more concentrated syrup. Once the prescribed consistency is reached, they examine a sample of it. This syrup is about 65 to 75% sugar. To get raw sugar, the syrup needs to go through a process called crystallization. The moment the crystals grow to about 1 millimeter in size, the syrupy mixture is discharged. To ensure the total separation of crystals and sugar, it goes into a centrifuge that spins at high speed. Before being sent to the bulk sugar bins at the mill for momentary storage, the raw sugar is tumble-dried. The dark syrup that is left over after sugar crystals have formed and been extracted from cleared cane juice is known as molasses, and it's a byproduct of the sugar-producing process. The raw sugar is now processed through drying and grating. After all of that, it's prepared for packaging. They can be transferred to small bags or even sacks. To soften the tough molasses coating, hot syrup is combined with freshly ground raw sugar from the mill. The syrup is then converted into a liquor after being centrifuged to remove 50% of the color. To clear the liquor of any remaining impurities, it is carbonated, phosphated, and activated carbon filtered. Evaporation pans are used to remove extra water, and UV light is used to sanitize it. The liquid is crystallized before being dried and going through one last centrifugation. Various sugar products are produced by the refinery too. The raw sugar is now delivered to a refinery where they process around 55 to 60 tons per hour. And there you have it, folks. That's the whole process of sugarcane production. If you want to know more, you can check out our video on powerful machines and amazing inventions that you need to see. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Until next time, stay tuned and keep exploring the world of construction machinery.